Look at all of these Nintendo Switch games. Hey folks, I'm back once again for another video, and it's been at least a couple years since I did this. 2 years ago, roughly almost 2 years ago now. Actually, for the sake of this video, let's just say it was 2 years ago. But yes, Con Bravo 2018, to be precise. That was when I first got my hands on the Nintendo Switch. Now, the first time I showed you this collection, I did not have that many games for the Switch yet. Then again, at that point, the system was like barely a year and a half old, so... Anyways, over the last couple of years, I have obviously added significantly more to the collection, which you are going to see right now. Starting off with a game I actually picked up at the store yesterday, the Lego Movie 2 video game. Spine, back, and open it up, show the cartridge. Yeah, I actually played this a little bit earlier today, and I'll be honest, I kind of have no idea what I'm doing in that. Anyways, on to the next game, NBA 2K Playgrounds 2, which is a basketball game. This one's pretty fun. I played around with this a little bit. There's the cartridge here. Yes, that's pretty fun. Next up we have the Spyro Reignited Trilogy. Of course, classic Spyro the Dragon. Can't go wrong with this, so... There's the cartridge. With him being such an iconic character, really no introductions needed or explanations needed for this game, aside from the fact that they're basically HD remasters of the first three Spyro games. And there's actually... oh no, actually, never mind. I was going to say... there's a fourth mainline Spyro game, but I'm getting that mixed up with Crash. We will get to him down the line, though. Next up, it's Lego Marvel Superheroes 2. Yeah, I played this a little bit too, and I honestly don't know what to do in this game. But there is the cartridge for your viewing eyes, that way you can see that. It's still a pretty alright game. The next game I'm going to show you is one that I picked up a few months ago and have beaten. At least the main story for it I've beaten. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX. This, of course, a remake, the HD remake of the original Pokemon Mystery Dungeon from the Game Boy Advance / Nintendo DS era. Why do I say that? Well, just like with the original Pokemon games, Red and Blue, the original Mystery Dungeon game came in two versions, a red version and a blue version. The red version releasing on the Game Boy Advance, but for whatever reason they decided to release the blue version on the Nintendo DS. I don't know why, I don't know how, but that's just the way they decided to do it. Alright, then, next up, New Super Lucky's Tale. This is a fun little platform game, and this actually is pretty much a port of the Xbox One games named Super Lucky's Tale. There's the cartridge. But the reason why it says new is because most of the levels from the Xbox One game of this carried over, and they also made some new levels designed exclusively for the Switch. That's why it's titled New Super Lucky's Tale. I've gotten to the final boss on this game, and I have not been able to beat it, though. Then, next up we have Mega Man 11, which I have tried, and honestly, I found this to be a bit on the difficult side. Alright, if I can even close this properly. Thank you. Next up we have a Hat in Time. This is the physical game for it. Yeah, there it is right here, Hat in Time. This is the physical game. This was originally released as an eShop only game. I played a little bit of it. It's alright. Next up, Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020. And of course, usually during Olympics time, they usually come out these Mario and Sonic games to promote the upcoming Olympics. The funny thing is, this is promoting... Now here's the funny thing. When this originally came out in November, COVID really wasn't a worldwide thing yet. But then, like, around March or something, yeah, it was when everybody really started freaking out. And as such, these Olympics are now not going to be held until next year. So, kind of odd that this game's promoting an Olympics that got delayed a whole year. And actually, from what I heard, that if they still can't get it off next year, they're simply just going to cancel it and move on to the next scheduled Olympics. So this already has the honor of becoming the first game in the Mario and Sonic series to promote an Olympics, and then to promote an upcoming Olympics, and then said Olympics gets postponed. It could also be the first one to promote an Olympics that ends up never happening in real life. That would be interesting. If that ends up happening, then congratulations, Sega. Then the next one... Okay, you don't need to know about this next one. That racing game I just showed you, you don't need to know about that one, but it is a terrible game. I'm not even going to talk about that one. But if you must know, that game's called Race with Ryan, which I have played on my channel before. Yes, that's how much of a nerd I am. And like I said, terrible game. Do not waste your time with it. Alright. Now, moving on to our next step here is Pokemon Sword. This is, of course, the newest game in the Pokemon series, taking place in the Galar region. Definitely a very fun game. I always love my Pokemon. I do have a Let's Play for this game, which is currently on hold because the DLC for the Crown Tundra is due to come out in November. And I fully intend on covering that. Right now, when I LP'd this game the first time, I stopped after the Battle Tower, or whatever it's called, after I finished all the post-game stuff that was available at that time, and because the DLC hadn't been released yet. And obviously not too long ago I just finished covering the Isle of Armor DLC for this, but like I said, this will appear on the channel again once the Crown Tundra DLC comes out. And then of course, and they say Pokemon games usually come in pairs, that's true for this one. We've got Pokemon Shield. Same game except there's different Pokemon you can catch depending on your version. And then of course we got another nifty little game here. Clubhouse Games, 51 Worldwide Classics. This would definitely be a fun little party game. I mean, you've got stuff like Connect 4, and you've got like little... And there's dice games in here, there's sports. There's a whole variety of different stuff in here. So this is definitely a fun little game. Next up is Puyo Puyo Tetris. which I cannot really say anything about at the moment since I have not had a chance to play this yet. But seeing how Tetris is in the title, I expect it would pretty much just be your average run-of-the-mill Tetris game. Then we've got ARMS, which I played for a little bit. Definitely a fun game. Played this on my channel not too long ago. And then, of course, we've got an instant classic, Super Mario Odyssey. Definitely get this for the Switch if you haven't gotten one yet. I'm telling you right now, anyone that has a Switch or is looking to get one, Mario Odyssey is definitely a must-own. Definitely a must-own. Alright, next we've got Animal Crossing New Horizons, which I played around with for a little bit. But I'm not really sure if I'm going to go back to this, because I'm honestly not really an Animal Crossing person. But it's fine for what it is. Alright, next up we have a game that I got on its release day just last week. This is the newest game in the Paper Mario series, Paper Mario the Origami King. Yeah, this is the 6th game in the Paper Mario franchise. And from what I've heard, while it doesn't quite return to its original roots, it is a much better game than Sticker Star. Sticker Star was an absolute abomination of a game. Don't play that game. And folks, don't play that one. Let's just pretend Sticker Star doesn't exist. Next, we have Overcooked Special Edition, and the Runaway guys are actually playing through this right now. I have not had a chance to play this yet, but it definitely looks like something I would probably want to try. And next up we have Who Lives in a Pineapple Under the Sea? SpongeBob SquarePants. This is SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated, an HD remaster of Battle for Bikini Bottom, which originally released on the GameCube back in 2003. I have not beaten this game yet, but I've gotten pretty far, although I've heard there are some bugs in this game. Like, specifically, I have run into a couple of glitches in this game. I think one glitch I ran into was inside the museum, and I was using SpongeBob to try to jump from one platform to another, and then I fell and got stuck behind one of those warp boxes and couldn't move. And then we've got Burnout Paradise Remastered, which is a racing game. It's definitely a lot of fun. Always love me a good racing game. Next up we have Lego DC Supervillains. This is definitely a fun game. Basically Lego versions of some of the Marvel villains, like the Joker and all that crap. In fact, my roommate's a big fan of the DC stuff. There's a Lego Batman in there on that little thing. And then we have Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist. Yeah, this game, I have tried this. It's a bit difficult, though. It's a bit on the difficult side, I will say that. I'm probably not going to play this again, so I don't even know why I have this, considering I'm not even a Yu-Gi-Oh! Person. The next games are both, next two games actually here are both Lego games. The Lego Harry Potter collection, consisting of years 1 through 4 and 5 through 7, both on one cartridge. So basically, like, a port of the, both of these Lego Harry Potter games that came out in the early 2010s. Years 1 through 4, I think, came out in 2010, I want to say, and then 5 through 7 the year after that. I finished year 1. I have not finished year 2 yet, though. And then we have Lego The Incredibles. I have done a Let's Play of this, and I have beaten this game. In fact, I've beaten it twice. This is definitely a fun game. And then we've got Super Bomberman R, which of course is the Switch version of Bomberman. And yeah, this is definitely a fun game also. Alright, and there's a lot more games that I have here, so what we're going to do is I'm going to stop for right now, and I'll come back with a part 2 in just a moment.